PSVR2 has been a failure in Gran Turismo 7 esports. Yes, this headset here that most people agree on, that it makes you faster in Gran Turismo 7, has failed on the esports side. So in this video, I'm going to let you know why that's a big deal. Not just for Gran Turismo 7, but also for PSVR2 generally. And first of all, I want to just confirm, yes, this headset really does make you faster at driving in Gran Turismo 7 for a few reasons. Firstly, you just have way more field of view in this headset, so you can see more around you, get your bearings easier when you're going around long corners, for example. You also get the massive benefit of depth perception, so when you're approaching braking markers, they're coming at you in 3D, you can assess them in much more clarity in that way, and you're not kind of focusing into a very narrow strip of 2D pixels. You can kind of appreciate the horizon coming to you. That helps you with the car control as well. When you're going into a spin, it's easier to see and perceive and control. So this makes you faster. Why is it not being used in esports? Well, there's a few reasons. Gran Turismo 7 have completely crippled PSVR2 when it comes to competitive driving in Gran Turismo 7 by just utterly destroying the HUD. It's monumentally stupid what they've done with the HUD in PSVR2. You don't get the standings, so you can't see where you are in the race compared to what's going on ahead of you in the race. You can't see who's in first, who's in second, who's in third. You can see your position, but that's it. You also can't see, and this is absolutely insane, you can't see the gaps to the drivers around you. This is all with the HUD on. So you cannot see how many seconds to go to the car ahead. You can't see what tyres they're on when they're coming into pit, because that doesn't show for you. There's so many just basic things that you don't get in the HUD in PSVR2 that you do get in the main HUD. Really, they should have given us 3 options with the HUD in PSVR1 and PSVR2. We should have been able to use the default HUD, even if it didn't look great, but to have all the information, that would have been an easy fix. Then we can have the HUD that they've put in, which is a sort of hybrid HUD that kind of floats around but it doesn't have all the information. And they should also give us a toggle to toggle between a HUD and no HUD, because sometimes those HUD elements can really clutter the screen. And for me, the purest driving experience in PSVR2 is with no HUD. Now, I'm very unusual because I've actually competed in Gran Turismo 7 esports with no HUD. And I don't recommend it to anyone who's not streaming. The only way that I was able to do that and compete and get some good results was because I was very lucky enough to have all of you in the stream letting me know in my ear what's going on with the strategy, because there was rain, there was having to deal with tyre change, everything. So without that, I'd be utterly screwed. For the last round I did, where I finished, so I'm now in the top 26. I'm the 26th fastest Gran Turismo driver in the UK, which I don't know if that's good or bad, but to me, I'll take it. And I didn't use my PSVR2 for that race, because I know for an hour race I would have been at such a disadvantage. In the last race I did where I picked up those points to get in the top 26, it was so critical in that race to see the time gaps to the other drivers, to understand when to push, when not to push, to appreciate what tyres they were on, whether on the faster tyre or the slower tyre. And you just don't get that in PSVR2. Now, why is this a big issue? It's a big issue because they would definitely sell more of these units if they had the halo effect of the fastest Gran Turismo 7 drivers in the world using it. And people saying, hey, I want to be like the fastest drivers. I'm going to get a PSVR2 headset. But no one is actually visibly using this headset. This is a massive issue when you think about it. When you go in Gran Turismo 7, you have no idea if the drivers you're driving against are using VR or not. And I find it absolutely crazy. Even when you're playing first-person shooters, you'll often see whether they're on a mouse or if they're on a controller. You can have that distinction. You can kind of understand where they're coming from. Why in Gran Turismo 7 they don't have a little PSVR2 icon even in the starting lobby to let you know is absolutely crazy. There is no exposure for VR given through Gran Turismo 7. It's crazy. They don't even really celebrate PSVR2 in Gran Turismo 7. There's no dedicated VR sort of menu on the homepage. They almost feel embarrassed to have VR in the game. It doesn't tell you going into VR when you race. It just does it automatically. The VR showroom is kind of hidden. I don't even really think they added much in terms of the menus to just a signpost that all this stuff is available, and maybe feel like you're missing out if you don't have VR because you can't have access to these things. So I find it astonishing that Gran Turismo 7 is just letting this slide, because this is such a phenomenally good driving experience. I cannot tell you how good it is to drive in PSVR2. It's otherworldly, especially when there's no HUD, the sun setting, you're driving online. It's just the best racing experience you can get on console, bar none. 100% I mean that. But Gran Turismo 7 are doing a classic GT thing where they're just letting the whole thing slip away. This whole thing could slip away from them. I would love if there were an option to do VR-only lobbies, for example. And you could race with people that are in VR, you could have that experience. And that wouldn't take any extra real coding or any time effort on their part, but they haven't done it. But just a signpost, if you know you're coming up against a VR driver, that would be kind of cool. And if you saw in the lobbies that VR drivers are at the top, then that might make you curious about, oh, I want to try out a VR headset. So those are the... By the way, let me know in the comments what you think about that. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see me race in VR. Because I'm one of the few... I might be the only... I don't know. I might be one of the very few people on YouTube that actually races in the PSVR2 headset in Gran Turismo 7. Because I absolutely love it. I've modded it as well. You can see we've got the infrared light. We've got the custom lenses as well. So this thing is just now modded and like ready to go, and we've overcome some of the issues we had previously. But I'm really kind of out of loss for words almost with how they're just letting this fall away, because I've got PSVR 1 back there as well, and PSVR 1 really died an untimely death, and Gran Turismo did not support PSVR 1 really in any meaningful way. The whole thing was completely hamstrung. It was like you couldn't even race other people. It was like a one-on-one session. Absolutely crazy. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think they need to improve the PSVR2 experience? They watch this channel, so they will watch this video and they will look at the comments and they will see what you're writing. So this is your opportunity to have that feedback. But let me know. I'm going to continue racing in PSVR2 and I'll see you next video.